The Lost Expedition. On December 5, 1987, a chill wind swept through the bustling streets of Kathmandu, Nepal. As dawn broke, 7 individuals gathered, their breaths visible in the frigid morning air. This was no ordinary group. They were a blend of some of the finest minds and bravest souls. Dr. Eleanor Clark, a 45-year-old renowned archaeologist with graying hair and piercing blue eyes, led the team. Beside her stood Rajan Singh, 38, Nepal's most experienced mountaineer, with a reputation for conquering the toughest peaks. Dr. Tom Bennett, 32, a young but dedicated geologist, eagerly discussed the expedition's potential findings with Meera Kapoor, 28, a linguistics expert fascinated by ancient scripts. Twins Alex and Sophia Martinez, 25, both anthropology postgraduates, were chosen for their joint research on Himalayan tribes. Lastly, there was Hiroshi Nakamura, 35, a spelunker with unmatched expertise in cave navigation. As they loaded their gear onto the trucks, whispers of the ancient legend surrounding their destination reached their ears. The village elders spoke in hushed tones about the cursed cave system, a place where the mountains whispered and shadows danced. Many had ventured in, they said, but few returned, and those who did were never the same. Unfazed and driven by the thirst for knowledge, the team set out. The looming Himalayan peaks, capped with snow and shrouded in mist, beckoned them forward. The mysteries of the ancient caves awaited, and so began the expedition of a lifetime, an expedition that would soon turn into a chilling tale of the unknown. By December 10th, the team had trekked higher into the mountains, the air growing thinner and the landscape more desolate. Nestled between 2 towering peaks, they established their base camp near the cave's entrance, a gaping maw in the mountainside, as if the earth itself had opened up to swallow any who dared to enter. The first evening at base camp, as the sun dipped behind the mountains and a blanket of darkness enveloped the landscape, an eerie serenity settled in. But as the team gathered around their campfire, sharing tales and warming their hands, a faint, unsettling sound began to permeate the air. It was a low, distant humming, oscillating and rhythmic, like a chant from another time. Meera, the linguist, strained her ears, trying to decipher any pattern or language in the hum. "It's not just a hum," she whispered, her voice quivering. "There are words, phrases. It's unlike any language I know." Hiroshi, ever the rational spelunker, suggested it might be the wind echoing through the cave's chambers. But Rajan, the seasoned mountaineer, had climbed these peaks countless times and had never heard anything of the sort. "The mountains have their secrets," he murmured, casting a wary glance towards the cave. That night, as the group settled into their tents, the humming continued, growing louder and more insistent. It seemed to come from the very depths of the earth, resonating with an ancient energy. Sleep was elusive for most. The sound, though barely audible, seemed to vibrate within their very bones, leaving an indelible mark on their souls. They were no longer just researchers. They were intruders in a realm that had been undisturbed for millennia. Dawn's first light on December 11th found the team poised at the cave's entrance. The entrance, a vast arch of stone, seemed almost like a sentinel guarding the secrets held within. Rajan led the way, his lantern casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. As they delved deeper, the cave's innards revealed an intricate network of tunnels and chambers. Stalactites hung like ancient chandeliers, and the ground was littered with curious formations. But it wasn't the natural beauty that held the team's rapt attention. It was the walls. Every surface was adorned with intricate carvings and paintings. Scenes of daily life, celestial events, and ritualistic ceremonies danced before their eyes. At the center of it all were depictions of dark, shadowy figures, looming large over the people, seemingly worshipped and feared in equal measure. Dr. Clark, her eyes wide with fascination, whispered, This could rewrite history. An entire civilization, lost to time, right here." Meera was engrossed in the writings. The script was unlike anything she had ever seen, a mix of symbols and glyphs. "It speaks of the watchers from below, beings of immense power," she said, her voice tinged with awe. But as the team ventured further, the air grew colder and heavier, charged with an unseen energy. Hiroshi, who had been mapping their route, suddenly stopped, his face pale. A chamber lay ahead, much larger than any they had seen. But its entrance was barricaded with stones. Crudely etched on one of the boulders was a warning in multiple languages, some modern and some ancient. The English translation was clear: "Do not awaken what lies beneath." But curiosity, as it often does, overrode caution. They decided to venture forth unaware of the ancient forces they were about to disturb. The chamber beyond the barricade was vast, its ceiling lost in shadow. Their lanterns only illuminated a fraction of the space, revealing more of the enigmatic writings and symbols. At the center of the chamber was a large, ornate stone pedestal with an intricate basin carved atop it. The basin held a crystalline liquid that shimmered even in the dim light. Drawn to its allure, Alex reached out to touch the liquid. As his finger made contact, the chamber echoed with a deafening rumble. The walls trembled, and the ground beneath them shifted violently. Amidst shouts of alarm and the grinding noise of moving stone, a portion of the chamber floor collapsed, plunging Alex, Sophia, and Hiroshi into the darkness below. The rest of the team, separated from their comrades by the gaping chasm, could only watch in horror. The tremors subsided as quickly as they had begun, leaving behind an eerie silence punctuated by distant echoes of falling rocks. Dr. Clark, her face ashen, called out to the fallen members, her voice echoing hopelessly in the vast chamber. Rajan, always the pragmatic one, assessed the situation. "We need to find another way down. They might be injured," he declared. Mira, still in shock, clutched her notebook tightly. The writings. "They spoke of a place of testing below this chamber," she murmured, her voice quivering. "What have we done?" Tom, trying to maintain composure, began to examine the chamber's walls, searching for any indication of another path. "We'll find them," he asserted, determination evident in his voice. But as the minutes turned to hours, the weight of their situation settled in. Not only were they trapped in an ancient cave with no clear way out, but they were now divided, with half their team lost in the unknown depths below. Beneath the chamber, in a subterranean labyrinth, Alex, Sophia, and Hiroshi found themselves surrounded by oppressive darkness. The air was thick, and an otherworldly cold settled around them. Their lanterns, though dimmed by the fall, still cast feeble light, revealing corridors leading in multiple directions. Sophia, shaken but resolute, whispered, "We need to find a way back up. There has to be a path that connects." As they ventured forth, the walls seemed to pulse with life. Here, the carvings were more grotesque, depicting humanoid figures with elongated limbs and hollow eyes. These beings were surrounded by worshippers, their faces twisted in both reverence and terror. Hiroshi, his voice trembling, remarked, "These aren't just carvings, they're warnings." The trio's journey took a chilling turn when they stumbled upon a vast underground chamber, its center dominated by a raised platform. Upon it stood statues of the shadowy deities, their eyes crafted from glowing gemstones that seemed to watch their every move. Drawn by an inexplicable force, Alex approached one statue. As he neared, the ground vibrated with the same humming they'd heard at base camp. It grew louder, more insistent, and the statues seemed to shimmer, as if coming to life. Sophia, panic evident in her eyes, screamed, "We need to leave, now." But retreat was cut off as shadowy figures, resembling the deities, emerged from the walls, their forms flickering like disturbed water. The humming intensified, now a cacophonous chant. Hiroshi, thinking quickly, grabbed a flare from his pack and ignited it. The sudden brightness startled the figures, giving the trio a brief moment to escape. As they fled, the cave's haunting chant pursued them, a reminder of the ancient powers they had unwittingly awakened. Above, in the chamber of separation, Dr. Clark, Rajan, Mira, and Tom had been tirelessly searching for an alternate route to their lost companions. Hours felt like days in the timeless depths of the cave. Mira, translating more inscriptions, said with urgency, "These writings speak of an exit of the faithful, a pathway for the worshippers to escape the deity's wrath." Rajan, spotting a series of handholds leading upwards, declared, "This could be it." One by one, they began to climb, their hopes rising with each ascent. Suddenly, a distant scream echoed through the caverns, followed by the familiar haunting hum. The chilling sound spurred them on, fear lending them speed. Reaching the top of their climb, they discovered a narrow tunnel, its walls marked with symbols of protection. It led them to another chamber, where they were met with a sight that drained the color from their faces. The statues, eyes now dim, stood guard around the perimeter. In the center, a pool of the same shimmering liquid from before reflected the cave's eerie glow. But it was the sight on the far side of the chamber that brought tears to Dr. Clark's eyes. Alex, Sophia, and Hiroshi, exhausted and terror-stricken, were being cornered by the shadowy figures. Without a second thought, Rajan ignited a flare, drawing the attention of the dark deities. "Run!" he shouted. As the team sprinted towards the chamber's exit, the walls trembled once more. The cave seemed to protest their escape, but the group pressed on, driven by sheer will and adrenaline. Emerging into the cold mountain air, they found themselves on a cliffside ledge. The cave's entrance was visible below, and with it, the promise of safety. But the echoes of the cave's haunting melodies would forever remain with them. The team's elation at escaping the cave was short-lived. Their location on the cliffside, coupled with dwindling supplies and the trauma of their ordeal, made the situation dire. Yet, amidst the despair, a glimmer of hope arose. Tom, fiddling with the expedition's satellite radio, managed to establish a weak connection. "We have to document everything," Dr. Clark insisted. "Even if we don't make it, the world needs to know." With trembling hands, Mira penned a detailed account of their journey, the ancient civilization they discovered, and the dark deities they'd awakened. The document was a testament to human curiosity, resilience, and the cost of disturbing the forgotten. Sophia, her voice quivering, began to read their account aloud as Tom transmitted their message. "To anyone who hears this, let our story be both a warning and a testament." The signal, however intermittent, carried their tale across the valleys and peaks, reaching a small mountain village. The villagers, familiar with legends of the cursed cave, listened in growing horror. As Sophia's voice faded, a chilling silence followed, broken only by the static of the radio and the wind's mournful howl. The villagers, recognizing the urgency, mobilized a rescue mission. Armed with the knowledge from the transmitted message and guided by ancient lore, they began their ascent towards the cave's entrance, praying they wouldn't be too late. Meanwhile, the expedition team, huddled together for warmth and comfort, gazed at the starry expanse above. The universe seemed indifferent to their plight, but in their hearts, they held on to hope, their message now a beacon in the night. Dawn broke, casting the Himalayan peaks in a golden hue. The rescue team from the village, led by an elderly Sherpa named Tenzin, followed the coordinates from the radio signal. Their path was marked by ancient symbols, warnings to those who dared approach the cave. As they neared the cliffside where the expedition team had transmitted their message, a chilling sight awaited them. The entrance to the cave, once open, was now sealed shut, as if the mountain itself had swallowed it whole. Tenzin, his face etched with concern, ordered his team to search the surrounding area. Hours passed with no sign of the researchers. Despair began to settle in, but just as hope seemed lost, a faint call echoed through the crisp air. Following the sound, they discovered the expedition team, weak and frostbitten but alive in a small crevice. The village hailed their return as a miracle. As the researchers recuperated, they shared their harrowing tale. The villagers listened with a mix of awe and fear, their ancient legends now validated. Dr. Clark, her strength returning, presented Mira's written account to Tenzin. The old Sherpa, after reading it, solemnly declared, "This must be shared, but with caution. The world must know not to seek these mysteries, but to respect and avoid them." The expedition's tale spread far and wide, a blend of horror and wonder. Many dismissed it as a fabrication, but those in the know, especially in the Himalayan region, took heed. The sealed cave became a symbol, a reminder of the dangers of disturbing the past and the thin line between curiosity and reverence. The mountains, with their timeless majesty, continued to stand guard over secrets best left undiscovered. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Write in the comments what you think about this story.